Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday, the 11th, which, with the exception of a few showers that just kept clinging on, has been a pretty nice day in the neighborhood. Much more to come. Improving conditions throughout the overnight and all the way down through the forecast line, all the way through just about this time next week, with no mention of any showers or storms, just cooler air, a lot of sunshine and clear skies at night. A little fog here and there, but that indeed is the only hiccup in your entire forecast, and I wouldn't even go as far as really calling it that, I suppose. An auto accident very early this morning making headlines tonight. A structure fire that completely leveled a Montgomery County home. A meteor shower that, well, has the makings of a perfect show. Not only is Mother Nature cooperating weather-wise, it's going to be the best shower you may have seen or will see for years, and it's what's happening as soon as it's dark. With that said, I will also talk about the City Council's efforts, well, a discussion, I should say, a proposal by Tourism Commission to save the most historic structure in that county. I'm not referring to the Sagersville First Baptist Church situation in McGoffin, but to the Stafford House in Paintsville. I'll take you to last night's Paintsville City Council meeting, and we'll get a bit of a history lesson as well and talk about the historic structure and what their decision was in an effort to give some support to seeing that it is saved and utilized for generations to come. Before we get to all of that, though, not local headlines to start tonight, but it is something we have to make mention of. An accidental shooting that's claimed the life of a young girl in Catlettsburg. A 12-gauge shotgun that belonged to the victim's brother reportedly accidentally fired. It was unknown that it was loaded, apparently. The coroner in Boyd County has reportedly indicated that 12-year-old Haley Marshall and her family were moving into a home in Catlettsburg. They were busy going into the house, unpacking the pickup truck, getting items out. The 12-gauge shotgun, which belonged to her brother, was being transported into the house when it accidentally fired. She was struck one time and sadly was pronounced dead at the scene. The Kentucky State Police are sending me a couple of reports tonight. The first out of Pikeville Post. They're investigating a fatal collision. Another life lost in eastern Kentucky. It's been a terrible trend as of late. This one in Floyd County during the very early morning hours today. They tell me the initial investigation indicates that Samantha Mead, 31, from McDowell, was traveling in her '04 Chevy Impala. She was driving on Kentucky 122 near Butler Branch in the Printer community when the vehicle left the roadway, then overturned. She was pronounced dead at the scene by the Floyd County coroner, Greg Nelson. Kentucky State Police reports indicate that there was evidence at the scene that indicates that she was not wearing her seatbelt at the time of the collision. They also say that alcohol and drugs do not appear to be a factor. And we're hoping to learn more, especially where the items were taken from. But from Post 8 down in the Moorhead area, Detective Toby Gardner was contacted by a landowner with property in the rural area of Rowan County. He says that landowner found several vehicles on his property that he believed were stolen. And during the course of the investigation, 36-year-old Ronnie Kissinger of Moorhead, Ronnie Kissinger II, and 42-year-old Billy Plummer of Ewing were apprehended and charged with felony receiving stolen property over $10,000. There were two stolen Freightliner semis and a backhoe on the property. They are believed to be responsible for the thefts. More arrests, they also stress, are pending further investigation by the detectives in the case. Here in McGoffin County, a single vehicle early morning accident resulted in the trip to a hospital of a McGoffin County man who was injured after he lost control of his SUV. These are some pictures sent in of the early morning crash. It happened around 1:30 this morning near the McGoffin-Breathitt County line. The driver was said to have been traveling in the easterly direction towards the parkway, if you will. The impact happened near the 1 mile marker on Route 30. Upon arrival of emergency personnel, they discovered the vehicle as the driver had been able to make it about a mile or so toward his residence further down the road. However, there was no one inside or around the vehicle. There were some residents or individuals in the area which indicated to authorities that the suspect was able to make it onto his residence by an unknown means. Reports are that he was taken from his home by ambulance to an area hospital. It was not believed to be life-threatening injuries that were sustained. It was also understood that he was the only occupant in the vehicle upon the time of the collision when it struck the earthen embankment. Later this afternoon, while I was on the road in Johnson County, this was a structure fire that was reported to the Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department. I don't have all the details as of yet. We hope to be able to obtain some more later. I know that they did call the Sagersville Fire Department for mutual aid. The location was on far Middle Fork in Magoffin County, about a half mile before the Breathitt County line on Route 378. It was a Pennington home, a mobile home that was said to be completely engulfed in flames and basically on the ground upon arrival of fire personnel. The occupants or owners were not at home at the time, but we are told, sadly, that the family pet, a dog, did die as a result of the blaze. We also know that there is still no indicator as to where or how it actually started, but that was still trying to be determined by the Middle Fork Fire Department, who was still on scene, obviously, at the time this video was taken and then brought back into the studio. I also want to make mention real quickly, I'll try to gather some more information, an EMS run that took place in Magoffin County earlier today. A man somewhere in the Johnson Fork area reportedly was weed eating and got into not one but two yellow jacket nests, if that's how you refer to them, when they're in the ground. He suffered multiple stings. They were still stinging him when someone had to get them off of him and swat them away. He was taken to an area hospital with difficulty breathing. I'll try to find out more about that incident and his condition on tomorrow or by tomorrow's program. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. While here in Magoffin County, I'm following efforts by the Magoffin County Library Board to construct a new library to serve the county. At the same time, we're also focused on their intentions to tear down the old Sagersville First Baptist Church building in an effort to make way on that property or that site. In Johnson County, however, specifically in Paintsville, the Tourism Council was present last night for the Paintsville City Council, asking for their support in purchasing, acquiring, and operating the oldest house in Paintsville, and from what I understand, the oldest one that exists in all of Johnson County. It's called the Stafford House. Last night, the Tourism Commission said they were making any and all efforts to preserve its history and this beautiful structure. This is some of the discussion last night after a formal request by the Paintsville Tourism Commission for approval of loans to purchase the Stafford House in Paintsville. Members of the council were present, as were members of the community, to talk about its history and the venture. It's known as the Francis M. Stafford House, a historic home located at 102 Broadway in Paintsville. The house was added to the National Register of Historic Places not only for its architecture, but for its family's importance in the founding and development of Paintsville. In 1843, John Stafford, the original owner of the house, helped establish the city of Paintsville. Then in the 1930s, the Stafford family sold most of their 1,000-acre farm to the city, doubling its size. Ed Hazlett spoke of getting that home onto the National Register and how it should be preserved.
Are you of the opinion then that it's worthwhile and necessary for the Stafford House to be saved? And you think it's about the only time we've got to that time period left?
Yes, I'll answer the first part of that one. Yes, I think it should be saved. I think it should be, and I think it goes pretty well on the mountain home place in the time wise. All the Stafford place is over. And I can't think of anything better that the city could invest money in than say the Stafford place. Okay.
Yeah, we want to preserve that as the Tourism Commission. We've lost too many of those kind of buildings. The original Mayo home and some of these that Mr. Hazlett mentioned. We plan on trying to get some historical grant money, which we have found out is available, and will be run with, unlike the Mountain Home Place, with volunteers. Main Street program will take it over. We do have adequate funding to purchase. The city's not obligating anything to purchase, but I think the way the law is, they have to approve any loan that we might get. And we've researched that, have some different rates and things from some of the local banks, and we're just in the process of trying to negotiate with them for the best rate we can get.
Thank you, Jim. So your request tonight is for approval of the loan, not for approval to buy the Stafford House.
No.
That's a decision of the Tourism Commission. It's not a decision of this council. And it's, from what I know about it, there's certainly sufficient cash flow and resources available for tourism to pay for the Stafford House. And so,
What do you need, a motion to approve that, or?
What are they asking, how much are they asking? I mean, how much is, I don't
For
know
the-
the
It's
price.
200,000.
200,000 to the selling price for the property, approximately an acre of property.
This is from the option that was originally done. If it isn't done, when the current lease runs out, it will be sold and more than likely destroyed.
So, do you need a motion for us to approve the tourism to,
Just to secure the loan.
I'll make that motion.
And I'd like to say one thing, I don't think there's any question, and I appreciate Mr. Hazlett, but I think a lot of coming in here and explaining to us who are unlearned on the history maybe sometimes. I don't think there's any question the pride that we have in the house or the amount that we would all like to see it preserved and be an attraction. I think the question, at least in my mind, and I've called a number of individuals, is what are we doing it at the cost of? And I understand right now you're saying, okay, tourism has the money, we can do it without any issue, but I understand too, having owned some old houses in the past, that it's not just that purchase price, it's a long-term commitment, just like the Mountain Home Place is for tourism. Mountain Home Place right now for tourism is a constant drain on the capital revenue that you receive. And of course, there's no way of predicting what the future holds if, you're saying, well, we're going to try and get a grant from, I guess, who was it, the state?
Yeah, there's different historical
Yeah, okay,
type grants you can get.
Sure. So we're going to try and get a grant to cover, I guess, operating capital or
No,
improvements?
it doesn't really need operating capital as such. We can handle that. We'd like to get original furnishings, original type furnishings for the
That's what
home.
you're looking at, yeah.
Like I said, it's been all volunteer to bring it to the condition it's in now.
Which is great, yeah.
Before we hear the vote on whether or not the city of Paintsville would support the Tourism Commission's efforts to purchase the residence, a vote that would initially result in a tie. A little more history on the home. I learned today that in 1861 a holly tree was planted in front of the house, where it still stands today. Records also indicate that since 1979, after the death of May Stafford, the daughter of Francis Stafford, the house remained vacant. In 2003, the state of Kentucky offered a $200,000 grant to the city of Paintsville in order to help with the purchase and restoration of the historic home. On July the 12th of 2003, the Paintsville City Council reportedly declined the grant at that time. In April of 2010, more recently, a resident of Floyd County purchased the home, and after a couple of years of renovations, the Stafford House opened for tours in October of 2012. Now back to the vote. Bill Mike Runyon, councilman, made a motion in support of the Tourism Commission's efforts. It was seconded by Councilman Tommy Trimble, a vote, though, that would initially come to a tie. Turning to a roll call vote with councilpersons Jim Meek and David Vann, who's not present. Councilperson Sarah Blair voted no, as did Sean Thompson, with Bill Mike Runyon and Councilman Tommy Trimble voting in favor of, leaving the mayor to vote to break a tie for the first time, he said, in more than 8 years.
Well, in 8.5 years,
It's about time.
I've never had to break a tie from council, and I proudly break the tie in favor of yes in this particular instance.
There you go.
We'll wrap up coverage of the Paintsville City Council meeting on tomorrow's program. Also, a lot of other governmental meetings happening, not just in Johnson, but McGoffin and other counties. And we'll be covering those over the next several days, as it's that time of the month in those respective areas. A whole lot of information to come out of all those meetings, and we'll be the place to find it all. With that said, tonight's community calendar is brief. I don't have these on the calendar. I'll pass them along real briefly to put them on your radar. I'll put them on the calendar when they get a little closer, but just to let you know, because I've got so many, the Royalton Rail Rail Trail Town Committee is meeting next Monday at 6 o'clock. I'll remind you about that, but that is Monday. The Kentucky Public Retirees is a nonprofit organization. They say working to protect the retirement future of many Kentuckians. They have a meeting set for Tuesday at 2 at the Senior Citizen Center. The Tip Top United Baptist Church is having a revival. It doesn't start till Wednesday of next week. And while Heritage Days in McGoffin County is weeks away, actually starting on September the 2nd through the 5th, which will be here before you know it, they've already established sign-up dates for the Baby, Miss, and Master Heritage Days, all the pageants. I'll not go through the whole list of all the age groups. The first sign-up date for the pageants, August the 21st, 4:30 till 6. Sign-ups will be at the Historical Society building here in McGoffin County. With that said, a few other announcements on your calendar. Announcements to follow that as well, and more headlines soon thereafter. First up from North McGoffin Elementary, they have a site-based council regular session meeting set for tomorrow, the 12th at 4:30 in the school's conference room. Everyone is welcome to attend. That coming from North McGoffin Principal Jill Howard. And a reminder about the 3rd annual summer bass fishing tournament hosted by the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church. It's this Saturday evening, 6 p.m. to 2 in the a.m. Guaranteed first place prize of $1,000. Second place pays $5,000. Third place pays $3,000. Other big cash prizes. Now they will be meeting at the Al-Free Boat Ramp on Cave Run, and you can enter the day thereof. The tournament starts at 6. And you can enter your announcement on our community calendar by phoning, faxing, emailing, Facebooking, dropping it off here at the studio. Any way you get it to us, we'll put it on for free. Tell everyone about it, and that includes birthdays and anniversaries as well. One funeral service listing this evening. It's in honor of 18-year-old Tyler Horn of Boone's Camp, who passed away on Saturday the 8th. In addition to his parents, he's survived by his wife, Kimberly Horn, brother Eric Horn, and sister Emily Horn. Also, his expecting daughter, Raylyn Ann Horn. Services are to be held tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the Boone's Camp Free Will Baptist Church. Visitation will continue this evening at the same location. I also need to make mention that Tyler was born the son of Teresa Horn of Boone's Camp and Joseph Horn of Louisville, Kentucky. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. I say this every time in a prelude to a similar report. I love meteor showers. I've slept through many. More so, though, Mother Nature does not cooperate. Clouds, rains, what have you. But this time around, the conditions are perfect. That's right. A new moon, low light, and perhaps one of the best meteor showers, not just of this year, as it always promises to be the best one of the year, but it could be the best shower that we've seen for years or we'll see for years to come. The Perseids are back. We'll talk about where to look at them or for them in just a second, but if you ask most sky gazers, this coming from Astronomy Magazine, about their favorite meteor shower, the odds are that they are going to say Perseid. That'd be the first thing. The annual shower seemingly has it all. It offers a consistently high rate of meteors year after year, produces a higher percentage of bright ones than most other showers, and it occurs in August when many people take summer vacation. School's usually back in session around here, but nevertheless, it happens at a time when there's usually nice weather and reasonable nighttime temperatures common. That's not always the case, but this time around, indeed, it is. This year promises to be one of the most significant showers, a significant advantage. The shower peaks the nights of tomorrow night and then Thursday night, the 12th and 13th, or the night actually of the 12th. It's changing over to the 13th. So tomorrow night, the actual peak, and it's one day before a new moon. So the moon pretty much absent from the sky. It will be clear, dark, and you'll expect to see maybe up to 100 shooting stars per hour. That's the maximum rate. And I know those numbers are always higher than what we actually see, but this time around, things could be different. 50 meteors per hour is probably going to be a good bet for a whole lot of people, and that does include us. Now, as for where to watch, basically just look up. But if you want to get a little more specific than that, the Perseid Radiant lies on the border between Cassiopeia and Perseus, which of course gives it its name. All other things being equal, the higher the radiant, the more meteors you will see. For the best views of this shower, look about 2/3 of the way up from the horizon toward the northeast. But don't get tunnel vision staring at just directly the northeast in one area. Let your eyes wander and widen so your peripheral vision can pick up those ones that are going to be going in all different directions. And even though the forecast is going to be optimal, you can also watch the night before or the night after, meaning tonight you're probably going to get in on some of the action. Certainly tomorrow night, and of course that will be into the peak. But tonight, tomorrow night being the peak, the night thereafter, great nights for viewing. I'll have your weather forecast that will drive that point a little further in just a few moments. But the 2015 Perseid meteor shower promises to put on its best show of perhaps the past 5 years and maybe the next 5, and it is going to be a good one weather-wise as well. How good, you might ask? Well, I've got some better information and improving conditions there too. While I did top out in the mid and slightly upper 80s, 87 degrees here at the newsroom today out in the sunshine, maybe even 88, I believe, at last report. We will see 64 tonight, partly cloudy, a little fog thereafter. That 10% chance of showers and storms, that's just in there to cover all bets. The main part of this forecast is the trend that's ongoing, unlike anything that we've had for a long time. Midweek tomorrow, start off with a little fog. We will see temperatures fall back to about 80 for daytime highs, barely reaching 80 actually. Low of 60 tomorrow night, mostly clear skies start to finish, and this is all going to be part of a scenario that will keep us in beautiful weather, temperatures not where they should be. Certainly for one of the hottest months of the year, we're nowhere close to where we should be. Keep that in mind, and Thursday drives that fact home. 79 right now, a little fog to start, but 79 and sunny. We'll see the upper 50s for nighttime lows. Some folks could get even into the mid-50s, I think, with the great possibility, but mostly clear skies, start to finish, full of sunshine above. Little fog to start off, but definitely cooler on your Thursday. It will be a cool night. You'll need a jacket to go out tomorrow night into your Thursday morning to catch the Perseids, or tonight or the day after as well. But we recover on your Friday. 83, 63, sunny, partly cloudy. There's just nothing to talk about except for beautiful weather. Saturday, the ride continues to just improve. We will see temperatures and humidity levels start to increase, but still very nice. Mid-80s, 85, partly sunny on your Saturday. A few clouds that night and 65 degrees for your low. Sunday, more of the same. We're talking about mostly sunny and 85, maybe 86 degrees. We'll start off next week mostly sunny, 85 degrees again. The very first mention of showers that I have in the forecast is not until next Tuesday, and right now that's only 20%. Yeah, 20% next Tuesday. Nothing between now and then, but perfect. I can't stress it or say it enough. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of our program. More news that you'll only see here on Your News Today. When we see you back here next time, for now, have a wonderful August evening, and thank you for being a part of the show. Good night.